you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you stay happy. I like literally, you stay happy. You are a big bundle of joy in every room you walk into. I've been knowing you for a while now, and that is you.
You know, that's the antithesis of what people think of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time I meet somebody, they go, nah, you sure you Byrd? Because he don't smile. I go, well, wait a minute. What am I supposed to do? I'm standing in the courtroom for 25 years. It'd be, Your Honor, he laughing at me.
Right.
You know, so,
But you're right. That is the antithesis of what you portray on Judge Judy.
right.
But
and
in real life,
you know better. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah. In real life, you are nothing like that.
See, you know what I love? I love when I'm listening to you on the radio and you're talking about something and I can't get in, but I text you.
I was going to say, you got my number.
I text you privately and you always reply back, you know, laughing emojis and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I'd be like, yes, I got it. She got what I was trying to say. You know?
Right. And sometimes you get through too. I'm like, what? Why is he calling on the request line?
Because I want to be in.
Part of the people,
I want to be part of the people.
You got the hotline.
I want you to say, you know, Byrd, go ahead and tell me what you was thinking. Well, I'm glad you put me in, Tammi, because you know.
I did this podcast because I went through a period during the pandemic where I was suffering from depression, and I would look at people and go, "How the hell are they happy? I don't get it. Like, how are they happy?" And I said I was going to do a podcast called "How the Hell Am I Supposed to Be Happy When This is Happening, or when that is happening, or when I don't even know what's happening?
Yeah.
I just can't find my way to happiness." And I finally did it, and it's here. And so this is really my journey to seek what makes people happy in the midst of things that are tragic. Because I think when we're going through a tragedy, we don't think we're ever going to get out. We don't think that there's going to be light at the end of the darkness. And sometimes the darkness is just something internal that has nothing. You could be making a load of money. You could have a wonderful family, but there's something internal that's happening. And
I saw a light at the end of the tunnel, and it was a train.
That's not that shouldn't make you happy. That's for sure. And so this is my journey for me, but for also for other people to find happiness. What mood are you in today?
Come on now, you know me. I'm happy. I'm happy I woke up. I'm happy that I got through the traffic and I made it here. I'm happy on this happy ass set. This the happiest set I ever seen in my life. You know, you gave me a bottle of happy. Look at this.
Not the happy water.
Wait. This just water?
It's water.
Tammi, you got a bowl of lemons over there, and you got the water over here.
Yeah.
How about we make some lemonade? That cool, refreshing drink. No, we can't do that.
We're going to need some sugar. That's a little sugar.
That's right.
I'm bringing me some sugar on the set.
No, then I'll be complaining like, my sugar's
my diabetes.
My diabetes.
Right.
I just need a lemon and some water. Thank you very much.
What color are you today?
What color? I would say orange.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I think of orange as a happy color, you know, like oranges and you know, when you draw the sun, sometimes you draw it yellow, but a lot of times it's orange.
Yeah, when it sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's kind of I'm kind of mellow. I'm a mellow yellow. You know
I don't know if you mellow, but okay.
No.
You do have times of mellowness, but usually you're like, "Ooh, I'm Byrd. Here I come, busting in the room." Not that you're like 7 feet tall in my eyes, because I'm only 5 feet, but
it looks like that, right?
Right. That's what it looks from standing from here. Yeah. What has been the worst moment of your life?
Ooh, man. I'm going to say that one of the worst moments of my life happened fairly recently in my life. As you know, I'm years old, and
oh, you did that on purpose.
I'm years old, and it's been a while here on this planet. You know, I've been around the sun a few times. You know, this ain't my first trip at the rodeo, but recently, particularly 2021
Mm-hmm.
was one of the most challenging and one of the most challenging times in my life in dealing with my happiness. And I mean, you know, fundamentally, you already know my wife
Right.
was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say it came out of nowhere, clean bill of health, you know, she had just been to her doctor, got this clean bill of health, and one morning she had a seizure, you know, and I'll never forget. We were sitting there. We were sitting on the bed watching Oprah's interview with Meghan, the
Meghan
princess
McCain.
of no,
Oh,
no,
Meghan Markle.
Markle,
Right.
yes. And so, you know, we got ourselves all primed. You know, Makita brought up some coffee to us, and I went to put my coffee on the nightstand, and when I looked back at her, she was frozen like this, and it looked like
And
she was
her
just
hand
pointing.
was
Her
literally
hand was
like
like that, just pointing. And I was like, what? You know, I'm thinking, oh, you got a cramp, you know, and she was just like this, and she was sort of almost vibrating. And I was like, you know, and our cat, well, her cat,
Mm-hmm.
the male cat is hers, the female cat is mine.
Okay.
The male cat jumped up and looked at her, you know, and they say the animals, you know, can sense when you're,
Danger.
in danger. And so he just looked at her, and then he looked at me like, yo, what you gonna do? And I'm like, oh, shoot, this is a seizure. So I got my phone, dial 911. I'm talking to the lady. You know, she's like, make sure she's comfortable. Don't put anything in her mouth, and you know, and she's kind of walking me through. And it started to come to me, you know, how you're supposed to react when somebody's having a seizure. And a seizure seems like it's lasting forever, but it's usually about 2 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I just put her on her side, made sure that her airway wasn't constricted. And after a short time, she calmed down. She came back from the seizure. Meanwhile, the paramedics were on the way, and apparently they were in the vicinity. I managed to leave her just long enough to go downstairs and open the door for them.
Mm-hmm.
Rush back upstairs. She's still there. She's calming down. They come in, you know, did what paramedics do, you know, checking vital signs and all that kind of stuff. I'll never forget, you know, some of the funniest things happen in the most tragic moments.
Right.
She started to get up. The guy said, "No, miss, please don't move. Don't try to get up or anything like that." She sat there for a second. She tried to get up again. He said, "Miss, please, I'm asking you, you know, try not to move or whatever." She went, "I gotta go to the bathroom." He went, "Oh, okay, in that case, you know, by all means get up." You know what I'm saying? Like, so took her to the bathroom and everything like that. They got her ready. They got her out of there. Took her to the hospital, Dignity Hospital in Northridge, and we got there, and we were there all day.
Of course.
You know, now this was at the height of the pandemic, so I couldn't go with her in the ambulance to the hospital.
Mm.
When I got to the hospital, I had to get permission to go into emergency because the only people they were allowing in there were people who were medically challenged, you know.
Who do you get permission from?
You had to get permission fundamentally from, I guess, the nurses
Okay.
on the floor, and you know, security was told, you know, and the protocol was changing daily.
Right.
You know, so the day before, I probably wouldn't have been allowed in at all.
Right.
You know, and when I get in there, she's sitting up, seems fairly normal,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and she's looking at me, but she's got this confused look on her face, like, what am I doing here? How did I get here? Because the last thing she remembers, according to her, was reaching for her coffee, and that was it.
Or so she remembered reaching for the coffee.
That was it. That was it. So now you're talking about, you know, paramedics, all that kind of stuff. No memory of that.
Wow.
You know, no memory of the ride to the
No
hospital.
memory of getting up to go to the restroom.
Nope.
Okay.
None of that. So I get in there. I'm of course semi-relieved, but of course I want to know what's going on. We're in there. They run a battery of tests, C scans and this scan and MRI and all this kind of stuff. And so we got there probably about 10:30 that morning. About 4:30 that afternoon, a doctor comes in and and he says, "Well," he says, "we looked at the results of your test, and you have a quail egg-sized tumor on the left frontal lobe of your brain." I was like, "Who are you talking to?" Like, this is Makita Byrd or
Right.
Makita Byrd. You may be looking for Makita Jenkins. She's down the hall, I'm sure, somewhere, but not this one.
Not my wife.
Not my wife. And he's like, "No." And then he says something so remarkable that I was like, "Are you kidding me?" He says, "So it has to be surgically removed, and I can schedule you for surgery tomorrow morning." Tomorrow morning? Wait a minute. Brain surgery? You gonna go in her head and take out this quail egg-sized tumor tomorrow morning? Yeah, and I should be able to get about 65% of it. I said, "Doc, hold up. I said, I just have a simple question for you. Let's switch places. This is your wife. I'm you, you're me. Okay?
Good.
What would you do?" He said, "One, I would first of all look up all the information, about what I just told you. He said, and familiarize myself with it as much as I can." He said, "Second thing I would do is I would take my wife home tonight and discuss, the ramifications of what I'm suggesting to you in regards to surgery." He said, "Third, I would seek a second opinion." I said, "We're going to go for door number 2.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We go take that one, I'll take her home and, not casting any aspersions on you or your skills, but this is something that, if she ain't going to die tonight, we going to discuss this."
And what did he say specifically about this tumor? Like, Makita now has a brain tumor.
Right.
What did he say about it? Did he give you survival percentage? Did he?
His whole thing was, because Makita especially wanted to know, like, especially since I've had this clean bill of health, how did you come to this conclusion? And, what are my chances of survival? So he's like, "Well, one, your chances of survival are very good, but we have to, the only way we can find out whether it is a cancerous tumor is, we have to remove a piece of it. And if we're going in to remove a piece of it, we might as well take the whole thing out or as much out as we can get." That was, that was very revealing for us, and especially for her. On top of that, he had to make sure that she understood that there were other, not that there were other avenues, but that there were other people who might be better suited for her,
Right.
in her condition. And so we went home. We went home that afternoon, and we talked about it. Her brother, who was a pilot, he flew in and stayed with us for a few days. Her sister came in. Her mother, everybody came in.
Of course.
And we talked about it. And what we kept hearing was, there is a doctor who is like tops in his field. Said, Dr. Keith Black.
Mhm.
Everybody said Keith Black. Judge Judy called. Keith Black. I met him at a dinner or whatever the case may be. That's the man you want. He's at Cedar Sinai.
Right.
Everybody was recommending Keith Black, but nobody was telling you how to get to him, right? And we have a friend, our friend Z. Big ups to Z.
Hey, Z.
You know Z. So Z, some kind of way, calls us a few days later and says, hey, I got you an appointment with Keith Black, okay? We're gonna do it on Zoom or whatever, you know. And remember now, height of the pandemic.
Right.
You know, so
Which is why you're Zooming.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get to anybody,
Right.
you know, much less the best,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Man, we had this meeting with him. He's like, well, I need you to come in, take tests, this, that, and other, you understand, but I've done this before and, you know, seen this before. Yeah. They're telling us that it could have been developing as long as 5 years, you know.
Did they say from what? No.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It just, you know, it happens. You know, it's almost like I don't know, like a toothache or something like that. You know, all of a sudden, you know. Well, why?
What happened to my tooth? It's just here.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It was just here. It wasn't bothering me. You know. So.
Okay, Byrd. You're only years old. Your wife
I'm glad you remember.
is significantly younger.
She is 27 years young.
Okay. I didn't know if I was allowed to say that.
You're right,
Okay.
right.
But that's significant.
So she's 5 years old. So,
At least give us
for those of you who are mathematically challenged, she's 7, 8 years old.
She's 27 years younger than you. You would expect that she would be caring for you in a situation today, as, you know, today. You say, because you said this happened in 21.
Right.
So you would be thinking, yeah, I got this young hottie right here, you know, couple of more years, I'm going to roll with it, and she's going to be rolling me in a wheelchair.
That's right. We're rolling on dubs.
Right, but it's her. It's you taking care of her now.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the relationship now. How did this feel to you? What were the emotions that you were going through when you have this youthful wife, not only personality-wise, but scientifically, age-wise? How does that make you feel?
Terribly old and lonely. No. The thing about Makita is that she has always been, you know how we say that old soul? You know, and it seems kind of cliche, you know, but it's not. You know, there's people. This heifer been here before. She is. She's so wise beyond her years, and in terms of her temperament and her personality and everything, you know, and you know, Keita, she's bubbly, she's, you know, effervescent, you know, she's got that youthful thing going, you know, but when it comes to business, when it comes to handling finances, when it comes to handling a home, she cooks, you know, it's like, I hit the jackpot. You know, this ain't no young hottie who's, you know, I don't know, why we gotta cook?
Let's out.
Give me DoorDash, you know, like, nah, it's not that. She's like, what? I can make that. Shoot, save the money, you know. So she's always been practical, you know, and in fact, one of the things that drew me to her, I tried to discourage the relationship at the beginning. I was like, look, you probably want kids. My oldest daughter is a year older than you. Okay, right. so you know, I said, why don't we just be friends and you get somebody your age? And she said, literally, look, old man, I can promise you some good years. I can take, if anything happens to you, I'll take care of you. I was like, you'll take care of me? She's like, no, I'll take care of you. I'll push your wheelchair. I'll do all of that. I said, you don't know how sexy that sounds right now.
I don't know how sexy that sounds to a man with the AARP card.
That's right, exactly. You know, so that's what she had promised me, and I know Keita to be as good as her word. You know, so now, you know, God does this switcheroo, and it's like, oh no, I'm definitely going to take care of you. You know, no matter what you need, no matter who you need to see, we're going to get this done, you know. And her attitude was always so 1,000%. You know, She never thought, oh, woe is me. This ain't gonna work. Am I gonna die? Never looked at me and said, am I gonna be all right? That's what I'd have said.
Right.
Baby, am I gonna be all right? She never questioned it.
Were
She
you
never
scared?
questioned it. I was beyond scared. Beyond scared. I had dealt with stuff like this with my kids. My daughter Darcy, back in the day, she had contracted swine flu and was in the hospital, and they were like, but mind you, I got ahead of myself. Darcy was born 3 months premature. She was 1 pound, 14 ounces. I held her in my hand. That's how small she was.
Right.
Okay. I remember getting phone calls, me and my ex-wife getting phone calls from the hospital. Hey, you might want to come down here. She had a bad night. Oh, Jesus. She had a bad night, and you might want to get down here, and, us jumping up, getting in the car, we got 2 young boys, and having to go to the hospital, which was 40 miles away. We were living up in the Bay Area then, and getting down there and them performing open heart surgery in the NICU. In the NICU. Just watching them cordon it off and theater it off, for them to do surgery on her.
Right.
So that, looking at Makita at that time, that sort of came back to me,
triggered.
like,
It triggered you.
because I'll be honest with you, I'm not used to loss. I'm not used to loss, and I'm not used to being around the people that I have lost, and so for me, that just, it almost freaked me out.
Was there ever a time you thought you were going to lose Makita? I can't even say that.
Yeah, it does that to you. To be honest with you, never thought about it. Never thought about it, and not pat myself on the back. Never thought about it because Makita never thought about it, or she never said it. It was all
Then what
like.
were you scared of? What frightened you about this?
What frightened me about it was that they wouldn't be able to get this thing out. Mind you, there were no signs other than that seizure. There were no signs that anything was wrong with her.
Right.
No physical sign. The only physical sign, and it lasts till the day, and it's been with her since I've known her, is about 10 o'clock. I don't care what we're watching. I don't care where we're at. About 10 o'clock, Keita going to sleep. she going to sleep. Okay,
Right.
And I know, because we're sitting there watching some show, some show that she wanted to watch, and oh man, Keita, you see that? Keita, she gone. She
Right,
gone,
right.
and will fall asleep in whatever position she happens to be in. So if she was like this, she going to sleep just like that. That was the only thing, and I'm not even sure that was a sign of
the brain tumor.
of the brain tumor.
Right.
Or whether that's just I know my sister is like that.
Did you ever question God or talk about God, like, God, here I am with this young woman, and I'm taking care of her instead of her taking care of me?
Major conversations with God, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be honest about it.
Thank
Due
you.
to my divorce, I won't say I had a falling out from God. He didn't leave me. I walked away from him. And by walking away, what I mean is that I'd have friends who would call up. They knew me. They'd be like, "Hey, man, could you pray for me about such and such, so and so?" And I would pray.
Right.
I would pray. But for myself, I felt undeserving of God's attention, behind my divorce. I felt, I felt it was my fault, and I thought I don't have a right to come and ask you for anything, Lord.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
So the divorce hit you hard.
yeah, I felt like a hypocrite, you know, and because of that feeling, I didn't feel worthy of being able to go to my God and ask Him for anything on my behalf.
Right.
Now I boldly go on behalf of anybody for anything that
So
they
why do
needed.
you think He listened? If you don't think you're deserving, right, at this
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
if you don't think you're deserving of what God has for you,
Mhm.
then why would you go to Him for other people, thinking that it would work through you if you ain't even deserving of it?
Because God uses the sorry people to help the good people.
Like, well, look, you might not help me, but I'm gonna ask you to
Right,
help
right,
them.
right,
Maybe it
right,
worked,
right,
maybe it don't.
right. You know, the Bible says the fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much, you know. But sometimes the righteous don't, you know, according to what I've read in the Bible, you know, sometimes those who are righteous are made righteous by God. It's not through their own self-righteousness,
Right.
you know. Uh, you know, David, classic example, you know, most of the Psalms are written by David, you know,
Yeah.
and most of the Psalms are David saying sorry, saying sorry to God.
Well,
you
by
know?
the time your wife has this brain tumor and you guys are in the process of deciding how you're going to take it out, how you're going to deal with it, if you're going to deal with it at all,
Right.
where was your relationship with God then? Did you still feel undeserved? Undeserved?
Uh, God gave me Makita, and I knew I I didn't deserve that that opportunity, but it was sort of God's affirmation that you're all right. You're all right. You know, you think that I'm this unforgiving God who, but I've already told you, I, you know, I take your sins.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you look to me,
Mm-hmm.
I take your sins and I cast them in the sea of forgetfulness and I remember them not.
Mm.
You know, which is cool. That's a cool ass God. Okay. And I'm glad he's like that because, you know, if left to me, it'd be like, yo, what I did was unforgivable. And God's like, no, it's not unforgivable. I'm in the forgiveness business.
Right.
All right. So what you have to do is don't assume that I'm supposed to do this.
Right.
You know, just realize that I'm going to do this because I promised this to you. Okay. You know, when you repent of your sin, I am faithful to forgive it.
I got you.
But you gotta repent. You
Yeah.
know, you gotta turn away from it. You know, and so having made the mistake that I made, the mistakes that I made that led to my divorce, I was repentant. I was definitely repentant. I was definitely sorry that I did it and wanted to turn around. You know, but
The good thing about that is that you recognized your own faults in that, because a lot of people don't do that.
that
A
part.
lot of people, even if they recognize their own faults, they just keep about the world
Right.
as they are.
Right. Hey, listen, I done messed up, and I might as well keep on messing up.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
It's
You know,
like, hey,
I robbed
did it
that bank.
once.
I might as well rob this store too.
Might as well do it twice.
No, but
Yeah.
but
And so by the time you got to Makita, you were ready and prepared for that relationship.
yeah. The funny part was when it came at me. Like I said, I was reluctant. You know, I was like, oh, nah, kid. You know, go play in the sandbox with the rest of the kids. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Sandbox.
You know, yeah. Look. I was married. I was getting married when you were born. You know what I'm saying? You know, like she was
Right.
4 years old when I got married to my first wife. You know, but again, God revealed to me that this is for you.
Right.
This is a gift for you. You know, she's
So what
she's
happens
different.
to your gift? What happens? You go through surgery.
Yeah. So that happened in March. We met Dr. Black. He examined her, said he could get out like 95. he estimated
It's better
about
than 65%.
There you go. There you go. And
He's
and
probably 95% more too,
yeah,
financially.
that's right. And oh man, when I tell you that, you know, the financial aspect of it
Mhm.
totally threw me off. But it was like that wasn't a question. I
Right.
was like, hey, okay, you know, here's your insurance. You understand? You know, we were married by then. You know, you on my insurance and all that kind of stuff. But here's this added part. You understand?
Right.
You know, that could have been this and wound up being this.
Mm.
And I was like, yes, gladly. I was ready to pay this.
Right.
God blessed and said, hey, this is what you'll owe.
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Took care of that. She had ready for this? April 15th of 2021, right? Tax day, 2021 was the last day of taping Judge Judy, ending a 25-year run.
Right.
The next morning, April 16th, 2021, Makita has surgery. Right? So I'm like,
You're like,
you
how
know,
am I gonna pay for this?
Hey, thank you.
Right.
No. Actually, it was like, you know, it was cool. We had already given
okay,
Dr. Black gave that brother his cut.
Right.
You know, I don't want no slip ups, man. You know, I don't want you to get in the middle of it and go, hey,
Right.
that check clear?
Right.
That check clear? Because I'm getting ready to go in. Oh no, it didn't. All right, we canceling this. No. He's such a cool brother. But all of that was taken care of. But it's just odd the way the dates fell. You know, like I'm ending this 25-year run. I'm ending this huge spot in my career.
Right.
You know, and the next morning, my wife is going into like life-threatening surgery. Life-threatening surgery.
Yeah.
You know, and so some people asked me, said, you know, well, how'd you feel Judge Judy didn't take you to the next show and blah, 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 blah. I was like, that wasn't a consideration
The least
for
of
me.
your
That
concern.
was the least of my concern. Listen, I'm ready.
I know that for a fact.
I'm ready to go get a job at Ralph's.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready to go to the supermarket and
get
get me a bagger position.
But you know, I always felt like, obviously, I was there during that whole time in terms of the discovery that your wife had a brain tumor. And I always felt like it was God taking you away from that so that you can have 100% focus on the task at hand. So when people were talking about Judge Judy and that stuff, in my head, I was like, if only they knew. Like, if only they knew what this brother was going through right now and how any television show on the face of this earth is the last thing on his mind.
God, you leave me this gift that you gave me.
Yeah.
I'm a garbage man next day. Okay.
Yeah.
You know whatever it takes to continue living with her and making sure that she has everything that she needs to heal and everything. I'm ready to do it. So the whole Hollywood thing didn't occur to me.
Right.
You know, well, what was going to happen next, and I didn't think about it. You know, but you know,
she has the surgery. She comes out fine.
Oh man, my one of my favorite parts, right? So that morning I take her in. You know, they like, hey, Mr. Byrd, this is as far as you can go. You know, she's going into surgery. Kiss her goodbye, you know, or not goodbye, but see you later.
Right.
You know, boom, she goes on in. And I'm just kind of hanging around the hospital. And some friends of mine came down, took me to lunch and everything. Matter of fact, we're sitting at lunch when we get the phone call. She's out of surgery, and you can go down to recovery, you know. And it's like, all right, y'all, I got to go. I got to get there. I get there, and Dr. Black had already been there to see her. And he came back because now I was there. And he comes back. Keita's laying in the bed, and she looks at me. I go, baby, you all right? She goes, Black is where it's at. Dr. Black looked, he said, did she say black is where it's at? I said, that's what she said.
Ah.
Those were her first words.
Black is where
black
it's
is
at.
where it's at.
You know, I joked with Makita because both of you are big jokesters. Like, that's all y'all do is laugh and joke together. But I said I had a Gucci purse. She says to me, I like that purse. That purse so cute. I said, oh, I'm going to get you one. And then I said, oh, but you're going into surgery for a brain tumor, right? I'm going to wait to see if you survive first.
That's it.
I said, I'm not going to waste my money.
There ain't no sense of wasting the money on
Let me know when you're out.
Right. As soon as you're out, I got you back.
Damn it, she survived. She's like, I'm coming for my Gucci purse, Tammi. Yeah, I got her the purse, but then I realized her style is not like mine. I should have never bought her that purse. I should have got her something different.
No.
She is so not that.
Oh, listen. Kita will make it work.
She is so not that, though.
She will make it work, though, you know.
Yeah.
So
how did this ordeal affect you?
So it gave me a perspective of life that, you know, that is precious, that we don't get to make the calls, you know. God has the final word on it. If I'm very philosophical about it. If I get sick and God heals me, yay God. And if I get sick and I die, yay God. Okay, because listen, he said I go to prepare a place for you. You understand, that you may be with me. Okay, so if I'm not here, it says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, right? So if I'm not
doing
here,
a shouting, y'all. I can do a little shout now, Byrd. Come on now.
When the Lord said, you gonna be with me in paradise.
Yes.
Come, my son, I'm ready for you.
Yes.
Death is just God's way of saying your table is ready.
So what's different about you today than before she had the brain tumor surgery? Or I should say the brain surgery. That's like when you say brain and heart surgery.
Yeah.
That shit.
Listen, you're only talking about one thing. You know what I'm saying? The brain surgery is like, oh yeah, she had a tumor removed. No, she had brain surgery. You know?
Yeah.
Now, you know, the thing I learned, you know, and I tease Kita about this all the time, I go, you sure you got the tumor and left the brain? Or you know? She like, yeah, you an asshole.
Right.
But
so what's different about you today?
What's different about me is that my relationship with God is on a more solid footing as far as I'm concerned. He has been steady, you know, and proven himself over and over and over. Me, I realized that he's steady and that he's God. And I don't have a thing to worry about. I don't have a thing to worry about, you know, because subsequently, you know, later that year, that summer, I got a call from Judge Judy, no, I'm sorry. Pushed by Kita, I made a call to Judge Judy because Kita was like, have you heard from her production company yet? Like, you know, I heard they getting ready to start up, and you know, like, call her, right? And so I did call her. I talked to her, and she, in no uncertain terms, explained to me that they were going in a different direction with this show, and you know, and I know what your salary demands would be and everything, and I'm like, you know, that's presumptuous. Why don't you ask me? Give me an opportunity to tell you no, you know. But I said, okay, no problem, no biggie. Didn't know what was going to be the next thing happening, but again, concentrating on getting Kita to chemo and to radiation treatments, making sure that she's all right. And I was like, we gonna be fine, you know. And next thing I know, I get a call from Judge Judy asking me if I would be willing to be on another court show, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'd consider it.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I was going to tread lightly because you know you done dumped me out of the
Hold
Batmobile
on.
once. You know, understand? You know, now it's Batman and Melvin. You know,
Right.
it's like I'm Robin. I'm standing on the corner of Fifth and Main in Gotham City, looking
No.
like, hello.
Here I am
yeah,
again.
Yeah, you know. So so we
Do you
managed to work it
remember
out.
the first time you smiled after you found out
Um,
Kita had a brain tumor?
oh boy. Wow. I'd say honestly, the first time I smiled was when the doctor, and his this doctor's name is etched in my brain. His name is Bjorn Lobo. Okay, all right, and
Bjorn Lobo.
he's an Indian fella.
Okay.
Bjorn Lobo, Lobo wolf, Bjorn bear, bear wolf. Right. The thing that he was assigned, I believe he was assigned by God to do, was to let us know that there was hope. That was it. Now who was going to actually do the 95% removal?
Right.
That was somebody else. But Bjorn, in that first moment, right? We're still there. We're panicked. You know, I'm still like, Lord, you know, what's up? You know, I'm praying for my wife. I'm praying with her.
Right.
You know, and he says, I can do this surgery tomorrow. You know, and he was his affect, his manner was so cool. You know, and that's what we had more than anything. We had cool ass doctors, man. You know, who were like, you know, didn't speak above this. You know, yeah. You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna be able to, you know, very calm. You know, Kita's like, look, yeah, let's go. When Bjorn said, yeah, we can get out 65%, she was like, okay, let's do this.
Right.
I'm like, hey. Relax.
Right.
Let me talk to this fella for a second.
So after the diagnosis, you smiled because Bjorn Lobo said something?
Bjorn Lobo was cool, and he was
optimistic.
No hopelessness in his affect whatsoever. No, you know, hey, you know, you gonna worry about this. He's like, I got this. If you choose me, I got this. You know. And what he eventually got was, you know, his fee from my insurance and a bottle of a real nice bottle of tequila.
Well, that's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
so
hey man,
he did make you smile.
You know,
but
and the other thing that he said, Tammy, was that he said, I don't take this personal. You know, he said, I think you should seek, you know, a second opinion and all that, and educate yourself as to, you know, what this entails and everything. He said, no, I don't take this personal.
Right.
You know, and so he was cool. So that was the first smile. I think the second smile came when her family came in.
Okay.
You know, and they were supportive, and they were at the house, and you know, we were being prayerful about it, and we went to the beach together and hung, you know, because everything seemed normal.
Right.
After the hospital visit. You know, we had doctor's appointments, but you know, there was no hospitalization or anything like that. So everything was everything for
How did
for
you
me and
stay?
Keita
How
was
did
normal.
you and Makita, who was the one having about to have brain surgery, how did you stay happy during that time?
So we had this little YouTube show, right, called Bonding with Byrd, that we created just as the pandemic hit. You know, we were sitting around, we making each other laugh and stuff, you know, and we like, okay, you know, let's take this and put this out there, you know, and see what people think.
Right.
And to this day, people still, you know, like, man, you bringing back Bonding with Byrd, man, because y'all was so funny.
Yeah, y'all were funny.
You're crazy, you know. And so the very next Bonding with Byrd, let me see, let me get it right. that happened. The tumor happened on a Monday. Right. It happened on a Monday. That Tuesday, we did bonding with Byrd, per usual.
And so that's what helped you to maintain a happiness during that time? The two of you doing
what a great balance. And we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube now. I don't know what episode it is. Matter of fact, we got to go back and look and see what episode it is.
Because I'm sure you feel different now than you did when you filmed the episode talking about it.
I think for us, again, Kita's fearlessness or seeming fearlessness helped me. It helped to bolster my faith that everything was going to be all right,
Yeah.
And then, but the funny part is if you flip it and you ask her, oh, my husband, he never doubted and stuff like that. And it's like, I think that we just looked at each other and it's like, okay, I got to be this for her.
Right.
I got to be this for him, and that selflessness towards each other is what helped us maintain some stability in ourselves.
Right.
Like, hey, if she like that, shoot,
I'm good.
I'm good.
I gotta give it back. I gotta get that same energy back.
That's it.
Yeah, I gotta give it back.
I got this.
Wow. But so you think that having the YouTube, it wasn't really a talk show, but it was YouTube.
Hey, it was
well,
a talk
I'm saying
show.
it wasn't a talk show.
It was a talk show, Tammi Mac.
No, it wasn't a talk show because
Okay.
it was you two
Nah,
like having fun and being yourself and
But we
like,
was
it was
talking.
just dope. Y'all were talking.
No.
Y'all were talking.
We had our top 10 thing. We
it was
came
just
in
like
with
this,
our topics.
It was so
and
fun
stuff,
and light.
Yeah.
But doing that helped you get through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the thing about it is, it's funny because talking to you now,
Mm-hmm.
I realize how instrumental that doing that show or whatever it was
a
you were
show.
doing.
I guess it was a talk show. I give in. Talk show. It seems so much fun, more fun.
Can we get security in here?
It seems so
Can we
much
get
more
somebody for
fun
Tammi?
than a talk show. Yeah.
But that's the great part was that it was just us. It was just us hanging out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our audience got. They would text in and ask questions or make comments and stuff like that. And it was just us having fun, making fun of each other. We had the section Tinking Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
it kind
all
of
those
kept you
things.
busy.
It kept
took
our minds
things
off.
Yeah. I get that.
Kept the weight off. That spirit of heaviness was. It didn't permeate our household.
That's good.
Because
I would imagine if anyone else were to go through this, or most people who would go through something like this, it would be torture. Torture in the household from the person who has to deal with it, and then having to maintain a regular life, like taking the kids to school or washing the dishes or cooking, like you say your wife cooks for you.
Yep.
And she's business minded, always trying to figure something out and how we're gonna do this and let's do this and let's do that. She's very creative.
Oh yeah.
And that to think that I have to go in for brain surgery would seem like that's what would be on her mind all the time. And to know that there was a space for happiness inside of that is just unimaginable.
Man, and then to to have to go through radiation treatment, and chemo, and everything. Again, a champ. She couldn't drive, right, because of the seizure.
Mm-hmm.
So she was restricted from driving. So I had to take her everywhere. I had to drive her everywhere.
Right.
And thank you, God, they ain't have nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? I had to be at work, none of that, you know? So it was like, yo, whatever you need, wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
And I remember sometimes Makita being like reluctant, like, hey babe, can I When when you want me there?
That's a
What you
wonderful.
want me to do?
That's a
You know?
wonderful husband to have.
And you know, just conversations in the car, you know, on the way to radiation treatment or whatever. Thank God that her chemo was pill form, so you know, so all she had to do was every day, same time she had to take her chemo. Um, and I remember the day she rang the bell. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the bell ringing thing when you know, when you finish your radiation treatment and all that kind of stuff, you know. And people just, you know, they just ring that bell,
Yeah.
and, you know. And I remember the day we went in and she rang the bell, you know, I have it on tape. I have pictures of it. And her doctor said, I wish I could bottle what your wife has in her. He said, because he said, it's just a positive attitude. You know, she you know, she knows the questions that she wants the answers to, or whatever the case may be, but she always comes in with the greatest attitude, you know.
What was the feeling like when she rang the bell?
For me, it was joy. It's joy. You know, your show is about happiness, and I always maintain happiness sort of depends on what happens.
Right.
You know, but joy. You have joy even in the challenges, even in the so-called bad times, the dark times. If you have joy, and if you've stored up enough joy, you know, you get to make withdrawals from that during the bad times.
I think that's what happy is. I think happy are those little moments that you store, that you recall,
I like that.
to continue with a joyous life.
Yeah.
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 Happy
Yeah.
is sometimes temporary, whereas joy is sustainable.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
If you want joy, you got to make your happy deposits.
You got to make happy
them happy
deposits.
deposits.
What's your happy meal?
What's my happy meal?
What's your happy meal?
Oh my happy meal. My happy meal is Kita's, what do you call it? Oh God, I'm blanking here. The Indians use it a lot. So it's a West Indian dish.
Curry.
Curry. There you go. I can't believe it. All right, curry chicken.
Okay, I'm like, curry is a seasoning. So
Curry chicken and
curry
rice.
Chicken.
Curry chicken and rice. Her curry chicken and rice is like fire. It's fire. That's when I know, you know, that's when I know everything all right.
What's your happy?
Everything irie.
What's your happy place?
My happy place. Kita and I, it was in our and I know this sounds corny, but it was in our wedding vows, and it's a line from Ruth in the Bible, and it says, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay." That's my happy place.
Mm.
My happy place is with Kita.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Happy Bird.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I think about her and I'm in my happy place. You know.
That's beautiful.
If not physically, spiritually, I'm always in that happy place.
Then I guess I know the answer to the next question. Your happy homie.
His name is just kidding. All right. So my happy homie, whenever we get in the car, it could be cross town or cross country. My happy homie is at the steering wheel. She, you know, at least part of the drive. You know, like we'll get somewhere and switch up, but Kita
is your happy homie.
That's my homie. That's my cut buddy. That's my dog.
Now you can't answer Kita for this one. Happy show. Oh, but wait, you can actually, because y'all had a show together.
that's right. My happy talk show is
yes.
My happy show. Happy show.
And your happy show doesn't have to be your favorite show, just a show that makes you happy.
The Honeymooners,
Oh gosh.
Mary Tyler Moore,
Oh my.
and I want to say 5th season, episode 4 of My Wife and Kids.
What is with the 5th season, episode 4? Were you on
Cat
it or
Williams
something?
and Bobby Shaw. Falcons! Let's fly. I can watch that thing 1,000 times. we just watched it last night with our nieces, and they didn't get it. And it's like, no, this is, so yeah.
When is the last time you made someone happy? And how did you make them happy?
The last time I made someone happy, I'm gonna defer to my nieces. So my nieces are actually a good friend's daughters, right? And I've known their mom forever, since before they were born, and so it's a set of twins, and the oldest sister is 16, and Keita and I kind of thought like, now they're getting a little older, because I would take them to the museum, I would take them to, took them to see Hamilton,
Right.
So a lot of their first experiences, or a lot of experiences that they remember, places we ate and everything like that, was with Uncle Byrd. And matter of fact, I got a shirt that calls me the Funkle.
I
I'm
like
the fun
that.
uncle.
You're a funkle.
I'm the Funkle. Yeah.
I want to be a font.
Yeah.
Or is it a font?
But,
I'm a font.
like Alan Font from the.
So what was the last thing you did for them to make them happy? You say you.
So the last thing I did for them was last night. We went and we went to Westwood, and we went to this place called Diddy.
You done took the
Diddy
kids to the
something.
Diddy?
Yeah, no, but
Party?
not
What?
no.
You done took the Funkle done.
Yeah, no,
took the
I figured it was safe because Diddy wasn't there. We know where Diddy at. No,
We do know.
but no, we went to, I forget the last name of it, because they looked at it and they went, Diddy. And I went, no, it's not that Diddy. He on an ice cream stuff. No.
Yes, he owns ice cream.
But we
and
had
Vaseline and.
yeah, we had ice cream and cookies, right?
He got cookies
no,
too.
hold the baby
It was
oil.
cookies.
Hold the baby oil. That's
He had
good.
them cookies too.
No. See, you took this happy moment and twisted it all up now.
Okay, final question,
Yes.
and I know this one gonna be hard for you.
Okay.
Happy song, because you are a lover of music, and you love to sing as well. A lot of people don't know you
Yes.
sing.
Happy song.
I'm so curious. I'm all up in it.
So I'm gonna say, "Use Me" by Bill Withers. Yeah.
My friends.
Let me ground. Can I get some? Can I get a cheeseburger?
Yes, you
growling.
keep on using me till you use
Keep
me
on
up.
using me until you use me up.
That's a deep song. I don't think people realize how deep that song is. That man is like, I don't care what nobody say. I want to be used by this woman. And I don't care how, in what capacity. I don't care if you call me crazy. I don't care. Do you hear what I say?
All right. That's right.
I want her to keep using me because she using me,
Right.
but I'm using her too.
But I sure am using you to do the things you do.
Hey!
That's oh man, that cat, and that's my go-to song. Whenever there's a band and they, Byrd, come on up here and sing. Come on up here and sing. Well, what you want to do?
That's it.
Use me. Come on, you know, and it's got a little driving beat
Oh,
there,
yeah.
you know. So
Well, Byrd, I want to thank you for doing the things that you do and for being on this show. I appreciate you so much, my brother.
thank you for providing a happy place.
Ah,
You know, this is a happy place.
Byrd!